Welcome back, everyone. It's that time on Friday where we welcome in the Answer Man, Steve Pokin from the News Leader. Good morning.
Good morning, Joe.
You got an interesting one today as we're talking about the search for, as your article says, 3 desperados.
Desperados was the phrase used.
But this is nuts. More than 200 lawmen involved, right? FBI,
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Yeah, the FBI, because it was a bank robbery, which is a federal crime. A reader by the name of Barbara Wells asked me if I knew anything about the bank robbery in Fordland in 1966, and she was kind of involved in it. Right. I knew nothing. You know, I'm not from this area. I'm from Chicago, but I've worked in different places at different newspapers.
As we do in this business.
Yes. But I did some research, and I found many stories, many front-page stories in the News Leader. Yeah. And Barbara lived in Fordland at the time, and she was 35 years old, and she lived off of Highway PP, and we went to the house. That's the house. It's not there anymore.
Okay.
Different house is there. That's her daughter. But the barn that we just saw is still there. And it was Friday, March 4th, and she was at home. She had 2 children, and she was living with her mother and father in that house. And they heard gunshots outside nearby, and they didn't know what it was about. But then on KTTS, they heard on the radio that the bank in Fordland had been robbed and by 3 guys. That guy there, Bell, was from Texas, and he actually was shot in a shootout with a highway patrol officer who responded. Really? Minor injuries, went to the Fed Med Center. Yeah. And there were 2 other guys. And he was from Chicago. He was eventually sentenced to 12 years for this. And the 3rd guy is right there. He was 51 at the time. And he had an extensive criminal record, including bank robbery, and he was caught as well. Yeah. But as they were nearby, a state trooper happened to be in Fordland, heard the call, gave chase, 80 miles an hour on country roads. I like that they call it loot. Yes, they got all the money back. It was $4,400. Wow. And that's the different state trooper, not involved in the chase, who grabbed some of the suspects when they were arrested 2 days later. No kidding. On Sunday morning, there was a shootout. They eluded the officers. That's when they were sentenced. They're in Springfield in federal court, 2 of them. Yeah. And there were 200 people looking for him. This was in Webster County, so deputies from several counties, volunteers, 25 FBI agents, because there's a concern. You know, these guys just rob a bank. They're shooting at a highway patrol officer. They can't find him. It's brutally cold. This is a movie plot, right? It's brutally cold. It's snowing at times. Yeah. And so Barbara is living in this house in Fordland. And they're told that don't let your kids play outside because they don't know where these guys are at. Yeah, it could be anywhere at any point in time. No communication like we have now. Yes. Right? So here's what happens with Barbara. So 2 lawmen come out to their house. They don't find any of these guys. They check the outbuildings. But life resumes, and eventually her father has to go out and make the rounds to the outbuildings, including the chicken house. Yeah. They don't know what's out there. And the adrenaline is high. And he says, she doesn't know why, but he says the plan was she was going to stand by the backyard stoop, watch him go into the chicken house. Mom was by the phone ready to call police. And he said, count to 10. If I'm not out of there, start shooting into the chicken house. This is unbelievable. She counted to 6. She said, Mom, you better call the police. Yeah. 10 and a half. She fires in there 4 or 5 shots. The bank robbers weren't in there. Yeah. Her father, fortunately, was not killed. I said, what was your dad thinking? She said, it just kind of, he got carried away. He was thinking of other things. He forgot I was counting to 10. This is crazy. The first shot, I hit the ground, and it turned out well. We don't get the audio version in the paper of him telling it. That's some excitement there. There was. But the article from the Answer Man is in the News Leader today to get the full history of what's happening here in Springfield. Thanks very much, Steve. You're welcome.